What is up, everybody? Welcome back to High School Never Ends, a pop punk dad podcast. I am Wingman Steve.
And this is Chris 183. And hey, it's a new month. And that means a new mini series that Steve and I decided that really would be fun to do. So this is something we've never done before, Steve. This is something a little bit different. I think over the years, we've definitely had requests of our own to factor into the show, but we've never had a full month where either you or I picked every single album or topic that we talked about. But that all changes in February because this month, ladies and gentlemen, is Chris Picks February. That's right. That means for the next, 3, 4, 5 episodes, who knows, right? All right. You know, you're limiting me to 4, but
the calendar does it, not me.
And that's fine. I get to pick not just my favorite albums because I didn't really limit myself to that. It's just 4 albums that I choose that I felt either are my favorites, or maybe it's something that I really wanted to get to, or maybe it's something you guys suggested out there. So it's one or more of those things. But either way, in any case, it's my choice.
The gloves are off. You pick anything you want. This is the first one, and it's not Weezer, so I can say I'm surprised. But yeah, it's like, do you go with your favorite ones? Do you go with ones that I've wanted to talk about forever? Do you go with something completely out of left field? You choose, and here we are. The first one.
Yeah, so that's kind of I went in a hybrid direction for the first one here. It's one that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. It's a band that I certainly do love, and I've really been a fan of them more towards the front end of their career versus the more recent releases. But their sound, to me, hit home right away, and I was an instant fan. And that band is The Killers. Now, I know that The Killers are very polarizing. I've talked to a lot of people about this band, especially those in this community that we've kept in touch with and have talked to via the show. There are those that really feel the same way. They really love this band, and others that cannot stand them. And I think it's interesting. I really do. I listen to their sound. It's not pop punk, obviously. So if you listen to just that and that's it and you want nothing else, I get it. It's not your cup of tea. However, if you're a fan of music, if you're a fan of rock, if you're a fan of alt rock with some synth in it from the mid 2000s ish time frame, if you like that sound, then I don't know why you wouldn't like The Killers, because they give you just that. So that said, I think the softball album, Steve, that we could have done was Hot Fuss, which I'm sure most people are familiar with. That one has the most singles. That one has the most popularity. That one has the song that you hear today. It was the theme song for the Buffalo Bills, Mr. Brightside. But we're not going to do Hot Fuss, Steve. We're not going to do Hot Fuss. We're actually going to do the next album in line. We're going to do Sam's Town. And I would say lesser known, but I don't think that's the case.
Actually, I kind of thought, so I'll make a confession just to start, that I've never purchased a Killers record ever, but obviously you can't live on this planet without knowing a whole bunch of Killer songs. I actually thought that this was the first album and Hot Fuss was second, because I don't know why. For some reason, I just thought that When You Were Young was one of the first singles, and then they blew up at Mr. Brightside. And obviously I did some research and listened to this album a bunch of times for this episode, so I've figured out what's real. But in my head, I always thought that that this was before, that this was the first album that had the popular song, but not the gigantically popular song.
That's interesting. So, but that probably leads to what you said, in that you weren't necessarily a person that bought their album, so you really had no timeline. And at the end of the day, these 2 songs probably were still on the radio. Mr. Brightside was probably still out there when they were starting to play When We Were Young. So I get that. I could see that. But
I just did not know.
It's also, thinking about this record and thinking about Hot Fuss and a song with the gravity of a Mr. Brightside, how big it blew up and how big this band got after that. And I look, I know you could talk about any band like this, but how do you follow that up? How do you follow up an album with just these amazing, huge mega hits that are just played continuously on the radio? How do you follow that up? And I think that they did that here by giving you more of the same. I don't think that they went in too much of a different direction. What do you think, Steve?
Well, I never really listened to Hot Fuss in its entirety, to be honest with you. And before we get too far out, let me just shout out our patrons real quick. We got Tom, Nick, Ashley, Jason, Punkish Dad, Sam, and Steve C. So thank you guys for being patrons of High School Never Ends. Yeah, I don't think I can compare the two, other than maybe could I compare the singles? If we look at what Mr. Brightside and Somebody Told Me, and I think there's another one, maybe All the Things That I Have Done, or something along those lines. Those are the three off Hot Fuss, right?
I know the first two. The last one, I'm not so sure what the last single was off of that, but I know that I played that one incessantly, so it's definitely a great song. I just don't know if it's a single.
Yeah, I think it is. It's pretty up there on the stream, so I think that assumes a single. Anyways, if you take a look at those three singles, and then you take a look, so there were four singles from this record, which I found out by doing research, not by knowing it off the top of my head. But I think that the three singles off the first record are without a doubt all much bigger than all of the singles on this record. So I don't know. I don't know what that says. I think that they were both very commercially successful, and you know, it's hard to replicate crazy success like Mr. Brightside. Was Mr. Brightside gigantic like right away, or did it just become like a karaoke song that every like middle-aged white guy would sing?
Well, it wasn't the first single off the album. I mean, the first one was Somebody Told Me, and that's the song that actually caught my attention. That was on the radio a lot back in, I want to say, I didn't catch that until, because this come out, Hot Fuss come out in
Oh,
'03, I believe. What do you have?
oh four.
I have '03, but okay. Maybe it was late '03, early '04. Who knows? Actually, somebody does probably. But either way, I didn't probably catch this until late '04, early '05. That's when I started to hear Somebody Told Me on the radio. And it's funny because I had a couple friends that had mentioned the Killers before, and I kind of just brushed it off. You know, when people tell you like, "Oh yeah, you got to listen to this band," or I got whatever. Like I got my stuff I like. Um, but when I started to actually pay attention to the band or the song, I like I said, I immediately kind of connected with it. I'm like, this is amazing. Like I love this. I want to hear more. So I bought the album Hot Fuss, and that was before Mr. Brightside hit. And of course, when you listen to that song, it's going to be a mega hit. You listen to it, it's like, this is amazing too. So no, I think the answer to your question is that there were, your question was it instantly a big hit? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, or did it take some time to develop a fandom? I've done that song at karaoke about 100 times, probably.
I think the fandom had already started with the first song. It like set a foundation. And then when that hit, people were ready for more, and it just gave them exactly what they wanted, if not more than what they were ever expecting. Because that song is just I don't even know how to put it into words. I guess if we ever do Hot Fuss, we'd have to. But yeah, I think that the foundation was definitely set for that one when it came out.
So you had said that you spoke to a bunch of people, and that some people are Killers fans and love what they do, and some people are just like not into it. So
Yes.
if I could ask you, could you read my mind? What do you think that I think about the Killers? And you see what I did there?
Yeah, I got it.
Can you read my mind? Ding, 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 ding.
Look, I think that you're a guy that likes a good melody. You like a good beat and a good melody. So I don't think you're a super fan, but I think that you're the type that enjoys the hits that they have for sure. So we'll just kind of keep it at that.
Yeah, I think that's probably about right. I don't really care about the Killers. Like, if the Killers were coming to my town, I don't think I would be like, I'm going to go see the Killers and spend money on a ticket. But if they were on like a festival and I was there or something like that, like, would I Would I watch them? Sure. Not searching them out, but I don't turn them off on the radio. And I think that to me, when I was listening to the Sam's Town album, I couldn't help but think that this band, The Killers, this is like U2, but the next generation of U2. They're very big. They're very dramatic. They're also a little bit vanilla. Interesting voice. You know, I just see these guys as like an extension of U2. And that's another band that I don't really care about. But like, do I know all the U2 singles? Sure. Are they fine? Yeah, they're fine. So I see a big connection between U2 and the Killers.
How did I know you were going to say that?
Did you? I asked you to read my mind and you didn't say it.
I didn't. That wasn't the question. But when I was listening to this, I says, I bet you Steve finds a mega popular pop rock band and compares them to them. And I had in my head U2. I don't know why. Maybe because Brandon Flowers, maybe at times emotes like Bono, but I don't see it. I mean, I guess it's both like it both has that big time rock sound at times, but I don't know. Like U2 actually did a lot of slower paced stuff, and they did all kinds of different things. But I think that the Killers are their own thing. To me, like they have their own sound in a lot of ways, and yes, it does have that big sound to it, that big gigantic rock sound. But the fact that they were able to, and this is what really attracted me to them, they were able to meld in that to their sound, that synth effect that I know other bands did, but I think they did it great. I think they did it just that much better, and made it almost seamless with the guitar, with the vocals. I think that was super unique, and that's why I think they're different. Also, Brandon Flowers, that's the other thing that really attracted me, and why I think their unique own thing is his vocals. He's just got this. He's got the gift. He's got the gift of a guy, the lead singer, that has a memorable voice. It's unique. You don't hear anybody else on the radio that sounds like him, and he's able to do a lot of amazing things with the way he sings that can carry a song regardless. The good thing about the Killers is there's a lot of songs that he doesn't even need to do that. He doesn't need to carry it. So it just kind of adds to it and makes the song even better. So I don't see the U2 comparison. I'm sure there's going to be those on the Discord that agree with you, but I just nah. Because I don't really like U2.
Band. I don't like U2 at all. Band, not like they sound like U2. But yes, they have that like bigger than thou rock aura to them.
Maybe it's the bias that I'm not. I just don't like U2. Maybe that's it. I don't want it to be.
Okay.
Because
I don't really like U2 either.
I don't like U2. But yeah, so I mean that's where we are with that. But I kind of talked to you about how we got into it. You never purchased an album. Is it just the radio play that kind of got you into this band, or got you familiar with who they were?
Yeah. Okay. And I wouldn't necessarily say that like I'm into this band, but I've heard them on the radio or TV or wherever so many times, and I enjoy most of the songs that I hear. I thought that song "Human" was pretty funny. It was one that I would like make fun of, but then I was like actually singing it to myself after. I know that's an album or two later, but But yeah, I think everything that I've probably heard from them is fine, and I dig it. But I was never like I need more.
It's funny because I didn't buy Sam's Town. That was when the CD burning, I guess, was at my fingertips. Mm-hmm. So somebody burned this for me, and I didn't feel the need to buy it because why should I?
Somebody burned it onto a CD for you.
I scratched the CD up so bad, the burned copy. I'm glad I didn't buy it because I scratched it. I played it so much and had it in my visor. It just got destroyed, but that's okay. I would go back and buy this one. I think it's worth buying for sure, but we'll talk about why.
Where would you listen to this album like now in your life? Is this like I'm on the road for an hour?
Yes.
It's a road thing.
I think it's perfect on the road. This
Okay,
is a perfect road album. It gives you all the ups and downs you need through whatever travel you're doing.
fair
I
enough. I
would
did listen to it on the road.
I would definitely recommend that. But if you're sitting there trying to chill out, I don't know. I mean, there's a certain vibe the Killers give that if you're chilling out, if you're in a scenario, maybe if you're with a couple buddies and you have a couple beers or something like that, and it's you're just kind of hanging out. Killers are good to have on the background. Not necessarily just Mr. Brightside, but the entire album, like listening to it. It's cool background music.
I
It
will say
sets a mood.
Mr. Brightside and maybe more Killer songs, but definitely Mr. Brightside is just one of those songs where like when it comes on and you look around wherever you're at, it doesn't really matter like the demographics of the people, like everybody knows that song and everybody sings along to it from what I've seen.
Well, that's probably my next question is regardless of how you feel about this band or what I feel about this band, I think we can agree that overall, they're just they're mega popular, right? People love them. A lot of people do. Why though? I told you why I like them. But why do you think that they became so popular?
I mean, it's catchy alt rock hits in that time where it was the synth mix was starting to come into popularity in the mainstream. Brandon Flowers has a very unique voice, a very good delivery, and they put out a bunch of catchy tunes. I don't think every one of these songs on this record, or probably all of them, are very good, but the ones that hit the radio got significant airplay, and they're easy to sing along to. Sometimes he's got that voice that you might not know exactly what he's saying, but sometimes you know. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you don't know exactly what he's saying. But I think they're just kind of an easy listen.
All right. Well, then, actually, one more thing. Then, why do you think people don't like this band? Why do you think there's those out there that shy away from this?
I can't tell you that I've ever. Well, I probably have never had a long conversation with the Killers one way or the other with anybody, but I can't ever remember anybody telling me like I do not like this band. But I would probably just say like I don't know if his voice isn't your thing, or if the stadium rockish type U2 big rock music is not your thing, then you might not like it. Maybe
If you
just
guys
don't
agree
like
with
songs
Steve,
that get that popular.
I'm going to get angry right now. Not at you, Steve, but just in general. If you people out there on Discord agree with Steve that this band sounds like U2, then
I didn't say that.
I will debate you one
I never
on
said
one.
it sounds like U2.
That is my declaration. That is my
you
declaration.
missed what I said.
No, you keep
I said
saying
the
it.
vibe of this band is a similar vibe. The way that they perform as like a mega rock, like larger than life kind of thing, like U2 did the generation before them.
Mm-hmm.
They're following in the footsteps. They don't sound like them. Didn't say that one time.
I made my declaration. I made it.
False.
It's not a falsity. I'm telling you what I'm going to do if you agree with Steve this time.
But
I will do it.
But you're twisting the agreement. I didn't say the things that you are saying I said.
When you were young.
Exactly.
Can you tell me why they named an entire festival off of a song off of this album?
I think it's When We Were Young. So it's slightly different.
Similar.
It's close, but it's different.
Well, let's get into it. Let's go into the song by song. I usually like to play the game, but I'm really want to get into the album here. So let's just go ahead and do that.
Yeah, second album by the Killers came out September 27th, 2006 on Island Records, sold almost 5 million copies worldwide. It's multi-platinum in the United States, produced by Flood, Alan Moulder, and the Killers themselves, and now you can go.
Yeah. And by the way, this is a Vegas band, if you didn't know that. They started in 2002, right around the time of the pop punk. I don't know, it's the boom period, right? It's a big time, right in that early 2000s. So
how crazy is it that there's like not a whole lot of bands from Vegas that I know of, but like the two bands that I know that are from Vegas each had giant mega hits with their first album and then like had careers of longevity. It's them and Panic. Like I don't know anybody else from Vegas.
I wonder if those two bands talk because, and I'll tell you why here when we get to a song. I'll just say it now. I feel like there's some influences, of Panic in some of this music. So we'll talk about that.
Maybe.
So let's kick things off. Let's kick things off with the titular track, Sam's Town. This is in fact is titular, but Steve, I
is.
mean, this is if you just finished listening to Hot Fuss and you put that down and said to yourself, man, I wonder what this next album's going to bring. I think that you're going to be pleasantly surprised by this first track. This first track picks up where Hot Fuss left off. It's super easy to get into this one. You get that synth rock melody that if you love it, you loved it before, you're going to love it again. You get Brandon Flowers with that unique voice. He comes in super strong, doesn't let up throughout the whole song. Love that, right? And no clue what Sam's Town represents, but I always really wanted to know. But musically, melody, lyrically, this is a hit. This is a big time start to the album. It's a great first track, and it's a great segue from the last album to this one. So I'm into it.
So are you saying that it's just more of the same?
Well,
And you liked the last one?
I'm saying that sometimes more of the same isn't bad, and sometimes more of the same in a new song is exactly what the doctor ordered. And that's what this was.
All right. Well, as I mentioned, I had never listened to this record ever. So I've never heard this song. There's a lot of songs in this album that I had never heard. And so right off the bat, very theatrical in the production of this song. A little bit in the verses, it kind of chugs along. It sounded to me like a little bit of like a rodeo song, and I feel like they have that effect in a lot of their songs. Obviously, his voice and his inflection are both very unique. I didn't find the chorus to be super memorable as some of their like big hits, but there are some background guitars that are very cool. The song is very, very big, and it's pretty good. And then they've got this slow down verse kind of at the end with this circusy kind of end of the song, which was a little strange, but it also like makes me harken back a little bit to like panicky kind of stuff. Maybe this is a Vegas thing. We have to incorporate the circus, but I thought it was a pretty good first song. Titular track.
Yep. Definitely was great. It was great.
But very strange that number 2 is called Interlude. So basically, number 2 is kind of an introductory track, right? He's, we hope you enjoy your stay. It's good to have you with us, even if it's just for the day. Again, this whole thing is very theatrical, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I like that. I don't think I really have an opinion on this song as a song. It's just, some pianos and vocals, probably something that's like just fun for them to like play live, to like say hello to the crowd. Hello, welcome to the Killers. We hope you enjoy your stay. But it is weird. So I'm trying to think, like, why would you put this at number 2 and not number 1 to start the album off? And I guess maybe the answer is you want to start the album off somewhat strong. If you bought Hot Fuss and you wanted more of that, maybe you don't want to put this slow, quick interlude there. What did you think about putting it at 2?
Well, I think from a storytelling standpoint, if that's the route that they're going here, if the album's called Sam's Town, the Sam's Town song to kick things off is your introductory song to what Sam's Town is. And then it slows it down a little bit from there. So you get your big production number at the beginning, and then it slows you down. We hope you enjoy your stay at Sam's Town that we just told you about. Okay, so it kind of does flow. And then I think that musically it flows perfectly into the next track, When You Were Young. It's almost seamless the way that these two songs kind of flow together. So I think it does make sense in that way.
I wonder if I've never heard Brandon Flowers in like interviews or anything. I don't really know his vibe or what kind of person he is, but I wonder if he kind of wrote this thinking of like maybe this could be some sort of like, I don't know, thing like an opera, a rock opera or something like that about like his life. On Wikipedia, it says that Flowers said he wanted to create an album that captured chronologically everything important that got him to where he was today. So I wonder if that has anything to do with it, but I still maybe would have put the intro 1.
Well, because if you would have had a song that said "We hope you enjoy your stay" and you don't even know where you're at, how would that make any sense?
Um, I guess if I don't know, I think it could, but I get your point.
And
I
if
think it
he
could
is
go either
trying
way.
to write, if he is trying to tell a story here, and you're right, like very theatrical, and I think that plays right into it.
It could be a play. Like if I really understood what all these songs are about, which I do not, then I feel like it could be some sort of play.
I never really dug into that either. I really never took the time to read or listen to interviews. I kind of just didn't want to. I wanted to just make my own interpretations of these songs. I was okay with that. And that's kind of where I'm going to stick because, that's what I've done for this time. As long as I've had this album or had this music in my head, I don't think I want to change that right now because that could probably affect some things. Maybe not, but it could. So we go into When You Were Young, Steve, and this is a mega hit. This is a single. I believe this is the first single off of this album. This is what we were introduced to when they followed this up, and everybody was awaiting this big thing. And like you listen to this song, it's not as big as maybe a Mr. Brightside. It's not. I mean, but and I bet a lot of people compared anything that came off this album to that song. I bet you they did because that's what hooked them was that song and that song only. Even if they bought the album, the majority of mainstream listeners probably just wanted something else that sounded like that. And When You Were Young didn't, for the most part. When you were what When You Were Young does do is it gives you this amazing main synth riff. It's just out of this world. It gives you nostalgia. It gives you a story that it's telling in the vocals that take you back, make you feel something. It has a mixture of very rich musical components, including organ music. You got that strumming too that just is infectious and it builds. And I love that. I used to remember playing Rock Band to this song and having to strum that and it kept getting louder and louder. You love that feeling. You love that sound. Just kind of takes you into the song itself. So it gives you all those things. I don't know why he keeps referencing, he doesn't look a thing like Jesus. Some people have argued that this is, the Killers are a Christian rock band. I don't know if I agree or disagree with that, but I'm sure there's, the symbolism there is whatever it is. But musically, and a lot of the lyrics in this song are just top notch. And even though maybe at first it didn't sink in how good this song was when I listened to it, over time, this has become just an outstanding track in a lot of different ways for me personally. So that's where I kind of stand on When You Were Young. Curious as to what you think.
Yeah, so to me, and it's been a while since I've brought this up. Punk Rock Mom, who says that I bring it up too much, because of Guitar Hero. I cannot think of this song without thinking of Guitar Hero, and I honestly can't think of Guitar Hero without thinking of this song. I think this might have been on the like Guitar Hero 3, which was like when Guitar Hero got real big and the masses, including myself, got into it. And I played this a million times on the Guitar Hero, and so it's eternally situated with that in my brain. I don't even know that I knew the song from the radio before I knew it on Guitar Hero, but since then, I mean, I sure know it now. The song itself, okay, the backing music to the chorus and the guitar is really what shines the most. That lead guitar, I mean, it kills. It's strange that there are multiple memorable parts to this song, but there's really not a chorus. I mean, they repeat When You Were Young a few different times, they also repeat the like, sit there in your heartache. But I really just don't think that there is a chorus. And they do that a couple of times, and that's fine with me. I just like to point it out. There's that huge instrumental after the bridge that I don't know if it's organ synth, whatever it is. And overall, I think that this is a great lead single to follow up Mr. Brightside. It's not exactly the same. It might not be as big, but it's certainly catchy, and it's got a lot of the same elements, I think, that made people like Mr. Brightside. So
it's not as easy to get into. Like I think that's the thing. Like Mr. Brightside is just instantly accessible to whoever. But this one, you really have to spend a little bit more time with it for it to catch on because of the richness of the song and the different aspects of the music. And I just think once you do, man, this one, I'm not saying it's better or worse. I mean, I honestly don't want to sit here and do that. I don't want to compare each one of these songs to Mr. Brightside. That's not fair. But I think it definitely is, like you said, like it's amazing in its own right, and it fits alongside of their mega hits.
Yeah,
such as Mr. Brightside.
I think if we were to get into just comparing this one and that one, I think that the main guitar riff on this one it's not as fast, and it's harder. If you think about Mr. Brightside, it's very lighthearted and quick, and this one it's like it's more harsh and deliberate, and that's fine. But maybe that's why it didn't catch on as much.
See, and I'll reinforce the fact that like I like that riff, but I love the strumming, the single note strumming. It's not even strumming; it's picking, right? It's ding 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 ding. I don't have the tune in my head, but you know what I mean. Like that part where it just keeps going up and up and up and up and up, and it gets louder and louder. Like that's to me the best musical part of this song. It just hits and it surges and it sounds so good. So that's where I'm at, but I still don't know why he doesn't look like Jesus, or why he would need to look like Jesus. I'm not sure.
I guess that's the ideal man.
Apparently. Well, let's talk about The Confession of a King, but that's in parentheses. So the song name is Bling.
Bling
is the next one. And this is not a single to my knowledge. And
no, it's not.
This one is another great song to me. Like this one had to grow on me too. When I first started getting into this album, like there were some songs here, a couple of them that we're going to talk about in the first half of the album that I didn't connect with right away, that I, dare I say, skipped past because I just didn't want to listen to them. But this is one that got better with time, and it got a lot better with time. So I think the intro here, is solid on its own right, but it shifts into just an amazing verse. The first verse, it has that gallopy beat. The melody's top notch. Once again, the emotion and the pace in the verse is what really carries this song to me. The only thing here that probably I would say is not the best is the chorus. The chorus is good though. Like the chorus is good, and I think it's necessary because it keeps the song moving along. It ties it together, but it's not the reason I listen to this track at all. I think that the overall, I'm trying to read my words here, but yeah, just stop there, Steve, and get your thoughts. I'll see if I can figure out what I wanted to say down here, but go ahead.
Yeah, for a song that I didn't know at all, I think this is one that definitely stuck out. The first 30 seconds are basically just vocally driven, and then after that we get into another one of these kind of like chugging cowboy. You called it galloping. I call it chugging cowboy-like vibe. Like it could be an action sequence in a Western. And I thought it was really good. They do the finger plucking guitar that you had mentioned from the last song, a little different in this one. And then it really culminates with this higher and higher. It comes to a crescendo. And then at the very end, it like totally slows down. Like it's like a final act. Like we got a play within a play. So I thought this one was really cool. I don't know what Bling Confessions of a King mean. I No idea. I couldn't really I couldn't dissect the lyrics. I took them in, I listened, I read, but I just, they didn't sink into me and I didn't really get most of them. But I did like the song a lot.
I think that if you try and figure out without any help from interviews what these lyrics mean, I think they write in the deepest, most hidden symbolism that you could possibly write in. I mean, there's just some things here that
One of those guys.
you just cannot figure out on your own. I mean, again, that's probably why I just kind of bypass that and says, look, I'm just going to listen to the music and think about what I want to think about with this. But what I wanted to say that I couldn't read my own writing was the outro. I thought the outro was great, and it tied into the building, the intensity that it did towards the end. So built the intensity, great outro. I know it ended slow, but just a great song front to back. So I was on board for this one. And Steve, I'm going to let you take this next one, but I am really, really anticipating your thoughts here.
I don't know why. Those are for reasons unknown. I don't know why you would be anticipating my thoughts here.
I'll tell you. Go ahead. I'll tell you why.
So this was actually the fourth single off this record. I didn't know that. I never heard it. I do like the quote unquote chorus, and it's basically just for reasons unknown, for reasons unknown. The robotic voice in the back, I probably could have done without. Other than the chorus, I kind of just thought the rest of it was like just okay. It wasn't something I'm gonna bash or anything, but it didn't really do much for me.
Yeah, so I'm going to totally disagree with you on this one. This is definitely one of the standouts on the entire album. This song is amazing. This would be up there against any other song that you could potentially bring to the plate, Steve, because this song gives you it all. It gives you that weird start, those robotic type effect on the lyrics that layers in with Brandon's vocals is really cool. Like that kind of sets the mood. It gets that melody going. It gets you thinking about, man, what's going on here? But it starts telling you the story. It tells you the story of what the story is for this song. And this is one that you can interpret in one of many ways. But, this could probably fit into the 99% of people's lives in the way that they think about, things they did or people they knew or relationships they were in. Like this is just, it just hits home. But musically, once again, going back to that, once you get past that weird start, this song is just unreal is the word I put. It gives you all the feels. A lot of it has to do with, again, it just knows how to build. It knows how to build and surge. And that melody is second to none when it gets to the high point, especially towards the end. When you get to that reprise towards the end, man, does it crush it right there. Like that is so emotional. I could listen to this song over and over again, especially that point. And it is incredibly easy to sing. This is a car song if there ever was one. I can't say enough good things about this one. It just rips.
For reasons unknown. For reasons unknown rips.
No,
okay, I like it.
Not reasons unknown. I just told you why. So
you said I don't know why, but it rips.
Yeah.
Reasons unknown.
Yeah, I was just speaking, but yes, okay, I get you. But yeah, no, those are the reasons. Have some fun. Have some fun.
It's your pick. I gotta have some fun here.
I gotta take this seriously because I am very serious about that particular track. If you have not listened to that one, you should. And I don't care what kind of music you like. If you don't like the Killers, if you only like pop punk, if you only like opera, I don't care. Listen to For Reasons Unknown. You will not be disappointed.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we get to this next track. So, and by the way, I didn't know that was a single. That's surprising to me, but it's not surprising, but I just didn't know because I didn't hear it anywhere. So I don't know where it would have been a single at. But then again, I wasn't paying attention to singles.
Sometimes bands will like quote unquote release things as singles, and that means they like, sent. It's different nowadays. Nowadays, a single is like, they send it out early or they make a music video. Back then, it was like, you would basically try and get your songs played on the radio. and if they hit, then they hit, and if they didn't, and they didn't get that airplay, then the single might have died quickly. So that could have been one of those. I couldn't speculate.
Could have been. I mean, and that's the other thing too. Like, I don't live in the biggest market in the whole world. Maybe if you would go to a New York or an LA or a bigger market, right? Even Philadelphia, maybe you would hear a couple more of these singles that come out on the radio. They don't really permeate to smaller markets until they become really big. I guess that's when the smaller radio stations pick those up. I've never worked at a radio station, so I don't know, but that's the way I assume.
It all depends on the program director.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, the local radio station that plays rock music in Pittsburgh, nothing against them, but they like their music that they like. We'll just kind of put it at that. So, all right. Moving along, Steve, what's the deal with? I know I wanted to start this, but I'll let you start it again. Read my mind.
Migo. Okay. This song, obviously, I know. This was another one of the singles. This was, I guess, the third one. The second one, it may surprise you. We're not there yet. So this was the third single, and I guess this probably caught on more than the second single. Definitely more than the fourth one for reasons unknown, because I've definitely heard this one, and they still play this one on the radio often. To me, this is classic Killers. It's got the soft electronically vibe. It builds up as it goes on. The chorus is catchy. I like how in each time they do the chorus, they switch up a whole bunch of the lyrics. I think that's cool. I always appreciate when bands do that. The key, like the guitar lick, is very catchy. The only the only real thing I would say is at the very end, there's this strange wail that it sounds like a dying animal or sexual sound or something. I could live without that. But other than that, I thought this is a pretty good single.
It's just an affectation on the way that he held that note. Is that what you're talking about?
It sounded like a weird, like a wail to me.
Oh, I didn't mind it, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, look, this is actually one that when I first got my hands on the album, this was a song that I immediately went with. I don't know how to put it, but I gravitated towards. Well, that's probably a better way to put it. And it was definitely one that I wanted to learn all the words right away. Like, this is one I played over and over again, so I could know what the words were. I could sing them. I like the tune that much. So, in the grand scheme of things, I turn on Sam's Town. I love that first track. I skipped to When We Were Young because it was a song I already heard. I wanted to hear it again. And as I was kind of thumbing through, this is the next one that really kind of stuck out to me before I really delved into some of the previous songs. So I agree. Like, this is just quintessential Killers. It does everything that you said. It's an outstanding track. It has that synth, like you said, superbly crafted melody. Check. The song gives you a lot of emotion. It makes you feel. I put hope, possibilities, the best parts of relationships you've had or that you have right now. Like, all of the lyrics and the sound and the music all point to those things, and it makes you feel good to listen to this one. So I mean, it's unique when a song can do that, and this song does that. And I think also one of the other nuance that I thought was really cool was the layered round of vocals towards the end, kind of just capped it off. So I was always a big fan of this track. It never was one that grew on me. It immediately struck, and it still does. I think it still holds up for sure. So
For sure.
it was a weird video. I remember watching this one. I think I looked it up. I want to say it was like in the city of some city with somebody dressed like a bunny or something like that. Have you ever looked up this video?
No, I don't think I know it at all.
It's like somebody in a bunny suit running around and doing all kinds of crazy, weird things, but it's not what you think. It has nothing to do with Killers or, like, I don't know, just remember the bunny suit. So check
In an
that
interview
out.
with Chicago radio station Q101, lead vocalist Brandon Flowers called Read My Mind the best song he had ever written.
Well, there you go.
That was probably
There
a
you
long
go.
time ago, though.
I'm sure that he probably feels the same exact way. So, but how does he feel about Uncle Johnny is the question.
Well, I know a few things about Uncle Johnny.
Do you?
Yes.
What does that mean?
That means this, if there is one song where you cannot misinterpret what it's about, it's this song. Uncle Johnny likes cocaine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no symbolism here. So maybe what I said before is not, unless that symbolizes something else that we're supposed to figure out. But I don't know, man. I think it's pretty straightforward.
I think it's pretty straightforward. And this song has like a real rock guitar riff. Like, hey guys, I play rock music guitar riff. And no chorus, just, the hey Johnny, say what you say, Johnny, the thing that repeats. But this is actually a pretty good song. I liked it a lot. And it's to me, this is like it's a little character story, right? So if we're in the play of Sam's Town, this is shining a light on the character, whether it's his uncle or just some guy named Johnny who likes to do cocaine and probably, messed up his life, or, they don't go like too deep into, like how bad it was. Just he convinced himself in his brain, it takes away the pain. But he does say when everyone else refrained. So maybe that's saying that he's the only one who was doing it. So I like this little character story here.
He doesn't go into any kind of detail about what the repercussions are, about the way that, about the choices Johnny has made. It's not about that. It's not about, him addiction. It's not about any of that stuff. It just says he does it. He talks about some stuff that I guess has something to do with him. But this is a song that I usually would skip back to listen to Read My Mind again. So I remember, like, I love Read My Mind so much. This song would start and I'd be like, yep, I got to go back and listen to Read My Mind again, listen to Read My Mind again. So I would never really give this one a chance. I would always like hear the first riff and I'd be like, nah, it's all right. But what a mistake. Cause I agree. Like once you listen to this one, man, is it a good song? Like you got that harder driving. This is more guitar driven and less synth. This song's a little bit different, right? In that way, they don't go the
rock
synth
music.
route. Yes, it is. It's rock music, and I wrote down no symbolism here, so I'm actually glad you brought that up. Johnny did exactly what he said he did, so I like that. It's fine, right? I don't mind symbolism, but I also don't mind straightforwardness too. I also do like, and this is one little nuance that maybe you picked up on, maybe you didn't, but Brandon Flowers sings this song in like this really high pitched. I said monotone. It's not monotone, but it's like just kind of the same thing straight across until he gets to the chorus. When he talks, he does like one line and then he just shifts the octave down or shifts it up. It's shifted to like a more melodical sound just for one line. And I really like that. Like he comes off of the main melody of the song, which is somewhat just I keep thinking it's monotone. That's not the right word, but I think if you listen to it, you'll know what I mean. But when he shifts down to that more melodical version of the song, in just that one line, I thought it was cool. So definitely something that stuck out to me and continues to do that. But other than that choice, yeah, I think it was definitely a solid track.
All right. Well, that brings us to Bones. Did you know that the bones are their money?
No.
And the worms are their dollars?
Is that something from something else? Or
if anybody out there understands that, they are laughing right now very hard because it's an I think you should leave sketch that is one of my favorites.
I haven't seen that one and I should.
Oh my God. This is the bones are their money is like the greatest sketch ever. Basically, it's like he's in this recording studio. I think it's called Recording Studio, the sketch. And he's with actually a famous actor, the guy who was in Entourage. He was the crazy producer guy in Entourage. And anyway, he's imitating Johnny Cash, and he's doing this crazy tune. And then all of a sudden, Tim Robinson pops in and starts talking about skeletons coming to life, and the bones are their money, and the worms are their dollars, and all they want's another chance at life.
That's funny.
Wow. If you watch that show and like that sketch, you'll like that. But for me and you right now, it's not biting. Anyways, I did not realize that this was the number 2 single from this record. Did you know this was a single?
No, no, but it's catchy enough to be a single, don't you think?
It's just strange the way that like the world works, right? So when you were young, okay, people know that. That's the first one. Read my mind, people know that. And I guess I maybe I'm just saying for myself. Maybe it's not all people. But the first single and the third single hit and the second one didn't. That is strange to me.
It's probably happened. It's happened for sure.
My wife recognized it pretty quickly when I was playing the record in the car. This thing's got a lot going on. So there's this like church choir kind of line, like to start it off, to come with me, and then there's like this 80s synth. There's synth, but then it does kind of get into. It feels like a straight up rock tune, and then there's like these horns in this one. Like what I said to myself listening to this a few times was like I think it would be cool if a ska band like covered this. I feel like a ska band could kill this as a cover. And there are horns in it, so it's not like it's that far fetched. But a ska band, I think, could exaggerate it and make it even better. The the speaking kind of bridge didn't bother me. I like this one. It was one that I hadn't really noticed, but I did enjoy listening to.
I don't disagree that there's definitely a swing slash ska feel to it. I don't know about a complete ska overhaul because of that chorus, because it's more of like a sweeping melodic chorus that's straight up rock. Like I don't know how that would translate. I'd have to listen to it to be to be able to comment on it. But this one is the kind of the one I was talking about when I mentioned that I thought that this album kind of had a theatrical type feel. I think this could be a musical number for sure. Like this, probably more than a lot of the other songs before it, even though they probably could fit. This one sounded from front to back like it was from a musical, and good or bad, right? However you want to feel about that. It's just a really super catchy song, but it does all kinds of weird things, like Steve had said, that give it a little bit more character. So I liked it, right? So you're back to the heavier synth here. You got that swing ska feel, so it can put you in different directions, but it still keeps that sound that makes the Killers famous. And you got that super melody. It's a really really fun melody. So all in all, again, another solid track. And we're getting into the latter part of the album, and they continue to really just put out some great songs. So I'm liking where we're going.
Until the next one.
Yeah, and I'll just say this. So when you get to this part of the album, like this is the part of the album I probably haven't spent enough time with, and I don't know why. Right? I'm not sure I could tell you why I did or didn't, but they start to get away from that fun. They start to get away from those melodies that really connect you to the Killers songs, and I'm not saying that you have to have a radio friendly melody to be a good song. Like, there's a lot of songs out there that don't have that are great tracks, some amazing tracks, but I don't know if that's what I want. I think you got to have some of that in a Killer song for me to really attach myself to it. And this one, it slows it down. It just doesn't have the melody that I want. It's not for me, right? I think that Killers definitely do better with more upbeat songs for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, like, I don't want to say that they've never done a slow song that's good, because I'm sure they have, and there's probably a lot of content that I have listened to where they could have knocked it out of the park. But for this song here, it just didn't stack up. It just, again, not for me. This direction that this song wanted to take, I did not want them to go in this direction. So it just wasn't my favorite track for those reasons. So I imagine, Steve, you feel similar.
Yeah, I mean, it starts off with 20 seconds of like ticking, and then there's 40 seconds of something else. So the song doesn't even really start until a minute. The guitar and the drums don't come in until the 2-minute mark. Overall, it gets chanty. It's a little slow for me. This is a skip. You know, I gave the full album a lot of listens, and I couldn't. It didn't grow on me. I was just like, no, I don't think so. Next.
You think about like a lot of the songs that I talked about previous to this that in the past I have skipped because I wanted to get to certain songs. I wanted to probably get to the four hits or the four singles, whether or not I knew they were singles or whether or not they were even singles at the time. I wanted to get to those songs. So I skipped some really good content, as a result of that. And that makes me sad, but obviously I was able to get back to it and really gave those songs a chance, and they ended up being really good. But they have that hook, they have that piece of melody, they have that great guitar riff, and so this song doesn't have it in my list, but I think that "The River Is Wild" again just doesn't have that. Like it doesn't for me. It has another melody problem. It just is too abstract for my brain to really get into right now at this juncture. Like I cannot sit here and enjoy this song because it doesn't have any kind of semblance of something that I can hold on to. So while it probably does a lot of cool things here and there with with guitars or melody or with the abstract melody or with the vocals, it doesn't mesh well for me, and I just can't get enjoyment from it. So I'm not a huge fan of this one either.
I think I picked out a few things on this next one that I did like, and then told myself that I liked it because of those little things. I really liked the first verse. I thought that the guitars and the keys were interesting. I don't know why I wrote that, but they were interesting. And I liked his vocal stylings. You know, the river is wild. Like I don't know. I believed him. Like I believed that the river is wild, and there are parts of the song where like there's several lines that are sung together real fast, and then the whole "I shake a little" like these fun little like vocalings that are thrown in there. The pre-chorus and chorus are not super catchy, but I thought that they were still good. So I actually liked the song, "The River Is Wild." I was a fan. Maybe I just liked all those little things, and I was like, okay, I like the song because I like all the little things.
I tried. I really did. I couldn't figure it out though. It's like there are those the things you said I heard. I just still couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. But I do think we get a little bit better in the next songs. But that's my opinion. And I'll tell you why in a second. I'll let you kick this one off, Steve.
Yeah, not a lot of songs that feature the xylophone. I think that's what's happening here. I think little baby Brandon Flowers climbed up on the counter to get some cookies, and he got stuck because he's asking to help me get down, help me get down, help me get down. I think overall, I'm just lukewarm on this one. I don't hate it. I don't love it. The end of the song certainly is quite big, but it didn't really sway me over the line.
It has a catchy chorus. I think it's better than the last song. It's 4 minutes plus, but that's about the average on this album. So it's
They
not
do
like
have
this
long
is.
songs.
Yeah, they do, but some of the songs are so good that it doesn't feel that way. This song definitely feels like 4 minutes, though, unfortunately. But the chorus is catchy, so I'm there with that. It kind of brings me back to what I've just been talking about. But it does go in so many different directions. This song, like it's hard for me to really kind of get a flow or get on board with. Again, just the way that these songs are constructed here. So this one, the last one, I think the only thing this song has versus the last one is a little bit better of a chorus. But yeah, I don't know. I can't sit here and tell you how much I love it because I didn't.
All right, well, we're at the end, and I was annoyed because I like print out all the lyrics, and I think the last page didn't print out. So when I went to make notes, I had to like make my own. I had to just look at it on the screen. So I was mad because of that. But okay, Exitlude. So this is exactly what it is, right? It's goodbye. Thank you for coming. It makes sense after the interlude. Wouldn't it have been funny because I complained that interlude was track 2? Wouldn't it have been funny if this was the second to last track and they were just like fucking with the audience?
Maybe, but then that absolutely would make no sense. So there you go.
But if the band thinks it's funny, then it's okay.
They're very
Brandon's
serious.
Brandon's voice. Yeah, I guess. Brandon's voice is very Bob Dylan-y. Like, I don't listen to a lot of Bob Dylan, but like I know what Bob Dylan sounds like when he says like aggressively and regrettably. Like this is very Bob Dylan. And overall it's fine. I think it's a good little, thanks for coming. Hope you enjoyed your stay. Bye-bye. Come back and see us again soon on what's the next album called? It was Day and Age.
Mm-hmm. That's the one with the song you mentioned earlier.
Human.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I don't hear Bob Dylan. I don't know.
Really?
No.
After I said it, listen to it again. Like you can't not hear. He sounds just like Bob Dylan.
It's just the theme. It's funny because this when you compare the two, the interlude versus the end, the exitude. It's not the interlude. I know it's the
interlude.
Interlude.
And you know what? Props to them for coming up with a clever way of saying those things.
They did the same thing, but it's the same tune. But this time they come at it from like more of an acoustic guitar sound. So I like the fact they didn't do exactly the same thing in this song versus the beginning. But it is the same tune. It's just done a different way. So I was cool with that, right? And I think that it's a nice little wrap up to the album. I actually really liked this one more than I liked the last two songs in Nature, but it wasn't anything new in terms of a concept. So, I don't know if that's fair to compare. I would like to know if there's people out there that are fans of this band that really kind of get into those last couple songs. Why do I keep counting in the river's wild? I'd like to know. I'd like to know why. Like maybe there's something I'm missing, or maybe there's something that I didn't consider. But anyway, so kind of wraps things up, and it puts a nice bow on the album and sends you on your way. And I'm okay with that, right?
Chris, I'll give you the option since it's Chris picks. Would you like to play a set list game?
Sure.
Okay, so I'll give you two options. They just did this tour. Actually, it's going on it might be like now. And it's or very recently, it's a 20 years of Hot Fuss tour. So basically they played all of Hot Fuss and then they played like a second set afterwards. Okay. So you can guess how many songs from this album made that second set, or we can go back to their last full set list, which was December 14th in Melbourne, Australia. And you can guess how many songs they played from this album on that one.
I don't know. B.
Okay. So December 14th, Melbourne, Australia. Okay. Just setting the stage for you where we are. The show was 21 songs long. So it was almost 2 full hours. And the question is very simple. How many songs from Sam's Town did they play that evening?
5.
You're close. You're either up or down 1.
6.
Yes, it is 6. But I would be very surprised if you got all 6 without messing a few of them up.
Okay, so they're definitely gonna pick some that I'm not considering.
To go with the easy ones first.
Yeah, when we were young, obviously. Yep. Read My Mind.
Yep.
I would love if they did. I feel like they did Sam's Town.
That is wrong. That is an X. And you only get 2 X's in this game.
Okay. I mean, if we're going to talk about hits, I mean, did they do Bones?
They did Bones, yes.
And then they did For Reasons Unknown?
They did, yes. Okay, you've got 4 of the 6 and 1 X, so it all comes down to your next guess.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking that, man, I'm going to say, Why Do I Keep Counting?
Yeah, so that's incorrect. That's the end of the game, but it's kind of an unfair game because they played both Interlude and Exitlude.
Yeah, I didn't think they would.
Exitlude closed the encore. Interlude was actually the second song, so obviously that is a theme. I am fucking blown away that the first song that they did on this tour is Mr. Brightside. They showed up and they just played their biggest fucking song first. That's ballsy.
These people aren't going anywhere. Like they're
This is true.
If you ever look at a video of a Killer show, like there's people are just rabid. Like they're waving flags and there's like stadiums full of like it's just
But
huge.
still, it's just that's an interesting move to me to play the absolute biggest one
Well,
first.
they don't care. I mean, look, if you're a fan of this band, hypothetically, if you're a fan of this band, that may not be something that you're really looking forward to hearing because you've heard it so many times. Like you're looking forward to hearing it, but it doesn't need to be at the end.
You know what? That is a very good point because every single time I see Blink-182, I do not care about hearing all the small things. And it's usually towards the end of the set, but it's the same mindset. The absolute biggest song is not the fan favorite.
There you go. It's the casual fan favorite, but it's
Right.
not the deeper fan favorite. So
if you're me and you're paying a babysitter and you need to get the hell out of there before the traffic hits, like at least you've seen Mr. Brightside.
But for those playing along at home, there was one more song, right, that we didn't hit, or was that the 6?
No. You named the 4 actual songs and then the exit-lude and interlude.
5, 6. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I was going to go a different route, but it would have been wrong too. So yeah, I wouldn't have guessed those 2 for sure. And you know what? I had that line of thinking when I was thinking about Sam's Town. When I guessed that song, I thought that would be a good one to like kind of kick things off with, but I didn't think that was just slightly off, and it was the interlude and exit-lude. Well, we played that.
It wasn't titular enough.
We played that game. Let's go ahead and play the normal game. That's right, ranking it. So during Chris Picks February, no different, right? We're doing ranking it. We're doing it the same way. Top 3 songs, Steve, on the album from 3 to 1. We really shouldn't do any honorable mentions because that might make it too easy. There is 4 songs on here hypothetically that are hits that could be in the top 3. You could go a different direction too. But go ahead, Steve. Give us your top 3. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, no honorable mentions considering there's only 12 songs. 2 of them are intros and outros, so I can abide by the rules. I'm gonna go one of the hits. I only think there's 2 hits, at least in my mind. And one of them made it, one of them didn't. Number 3, I'm going to go with the one that I didn't know was a single, but I enjoyed Bones. Bones is number 3. Number 2, which is my favorite song that I did not know by them, is definitely Bling, Confession of a King. I think the first time I heard it, I was like, I really like this. And then the more I listened, the more I liked it. And number 1 is Guitar Hero, When You Were Young.
Okay, when you hear this top 3, I'm going to explain something after I'm done. So, number 3 is When You Were Young. I could not fall off of that one. Like that had to be number 3. Number 2 though is Bling, and number 1 is by far, for reasons unknown. I told you why I love that song. It's just amazing to me. Why I could not fit Read My Mind in there is crazy. Like it had to be between When You Were Young and Read My Mind. I told you that it was one of my favorite songs on the album when I first got my hands on this one. It almost continued to kind of slip down the ranks as I really started to like other songs. So not a bad one. It's still amazing. But man, I can't find a way to put it above When You Were Young. There's just so many good things about that song. And it has nothing to do with the fact that it's a hit. Musically, it just does so many cool things. And I think Read My Mind is safe. I think it's an easy Killer song to listen to. But I'm gonna go the route of something a little bit more on the challenging side. I don't know what I want to say, but you know what I mean. Like a little bit different.
Well, listen,
and I think that's what this song gave you.
2 of 3, both on the list.
Yeah, and it's a shame. And just some parting thoughts. Like I don't want to say this album's top heavy because I'm a fan all the way through 8 for the most part. Like to me, every song is good up through 8. It's just 9, 10, and 11 for some reason just fall off for me. So maybe with time that'll change. Maybe I didn't maybe I don't give those songs enough of a chance. But I don't know, man. I just don't see it.
Fair enough. And as the person who chose the band, the album, I've already said that I don't listen to Killers in full album format. Like, is this your favorite record? Is this their best one? Like, what do you think in terms of the whole shindig? You started off by saying that you didn't particularly care for, or you liked the beginning of their catalog better than the latter. Is this the best one?
Yeah, I think so. I do. I mean, I didn't continue to follow this band after Day and Age. Day and Age is kind of where I stopped. It is where I stopped, and they've put out several. They've been putting out music consistently through even today. I think they have a 2024 they have a single or some one song.
Okay.
But
they had an album in 12, 17, 20, and 21.
Yeah. What about 22?
I didn't see an album in 22. At least
Pressure,
Wikipedia.
Pressure Machine, it says 2022.
Is that a full album or is that something else?
Looks like a full album.
Oh, let's see. The Killers discography. What'd you say? Pressure Machine? That's 2021.
Right here it says 2022. I don't know.
Well, where are you looking?
Spotify.
Spotify versus Wikipedia. Folks, whichever one you agree with, that's the answer.
It says album 2022.
Okay.
So either way.
Actually, it has both. It says 2021 on Spotify, and then there's a deluxe version that came out.
Maybe it's the deluxe version, that came out. So either way, they've been putting out some consistent music throughout. I just haven't listened to it all. So maybe I should. I mean, as much as I say that I really enjoyed this band, maybe I should go back and listen to some of the newer stuff to be able to speak to it. But I do think that the biggest debates can be whether or not I think it's a better album than Hot Fuss. And I don't know, man. I mean, there's so many good songs on this. Jenny Was a Friend of Mine, Mr. Brightside, Smile Like You Mean It. Somebody Told Me. These are all amazing songs. All these things I've done. Even Andy, You're a Star, that isn't top on my list. On Top is okay. Change Your Mind's amazing. Believe Me, Natalie's great. Midnight Show's okay. This might have one more song than Sam's Town. So to me, maybe they're just about the same. I'm gonna cop out. I'm just gonna say they're just about the same to me. I think that maybe I should go back and listen and I'll be able to give a more accurate statement. But right now I'm just gonna go 50-50.
Okay. All I will say is the Killers are fine. The Killers are fine, guys. That's it.
Yep. I think they're great. I'm a huge fan of the band. From what early stuff from what I've heard, I told you why. So what I really want to know is if you don't like them, tell us why, right? We want to know, like, what are your thoughts? What are the reasons why you never really got into this band? Is it just because bands of this ilk just didn't mix with what you thought was good music? Bands like, I don't know, Franz Ferdinand, whatever, right? Bands that sounded kind of like this. Was it just not your thing? Did that ever grow on you? Did things change over time, or did it stay the same? So let us know. There's a lot of different ways to do that. But for us, that wraps us up. So with that, Steve, love talking about Sam's Town. Can't wait for the next album.
What is Chris going to pick next? Will it be Weezer? Will it not?
Maybe, maybe not, but stay tuned and you will find out. Got a whole month of Chris picks. It's going to be some great ones. You guys don't want to miss it. But if you enjoyed the show, everybody out there, and you really liked my pick of Sam's Town, or you just like High School Never Ends, the podcast, which a lot of you out there do, we want to know about it, right? If you have Apple, go on to Apple Podcasts, write us a review, give us a 5-star review if you really like the show. And also, don't forget about our shop. We have some really cool stuff there. Mugs, hats, gloves, shirts, a lot of cool stuff there for you to buy. You can find that via our hub, www.hsnepod.com. That's www.hsnepod.com.
Yes, and we love to connect with everybody who listens. Do that on the social things, Instagram at HSNEpod, Discord. Go to the website and it'll link you to the Discord and chat with us. And Patreon, of course, if you want to support our show and get additional content from Wingman Steve and Crispin83, go to www.patreon.com/HSNEpod. Chris Picks is back next week with another all-new episode. I can't wait to see what he picks. Until then, keep on rocking your dad bods, throw up your rock hands, and blast pop punk.
Hey, thanks for listening to Dragon Wagon Radio. If you're enjoying this show, check out DragonWagonShop.com and get yourself some sweet merch while supporting your favorite indie podcast network. That's DragonWagonShop.com.
It's Dragon Wagon.